Hello, Mr. Lewis. How you doing today?
Blessed and highly favored. Welcome.
Welcome.
Jeremiah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that looks like it's running. Let me go ahead and minimize this one. All right. So just a few things. One, um, saving money and what to do with it once you've saved it. Two, where the money comes from to save and how are you going to save it. And then three, creating a budget is probably should have been number one, but creating a budget is necessary in order to manage your finances. So once you have finances to manage, then the other two things kick in. So from what I am looking at and what, the whole possibility of understanding. Good morning, sir. The whole part of saving is all about what you do with it and how you perceive or understand what is required of you at this age. And one of the biggest things that I could pass on to you at this age is understanding finance, not just what money is, where it came from, the evolution of it, but you actually have to understand how to work with it. Um, and a lot of people get this wrong. Me, and that's how I can talk about it because I'm talking off of the experience that I did that did not serve me best. So to eliminate that from your future, um, today's call is understanding your finances. And I could tell you right off the bat, you're going to get a couple things to look at over the course of next week or this week coming. And that's another thing. When you go to a meeting, always turn off your phone, just like when you go to the movie, or turn it down. That's another thing I want to also teach on is etiquettes, and that has nothing to do with money. That has everything to do with helping you become um, respectable young men and young ladies. Um, and I know from all of you that your parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles have been working on you because I already see it in you, hear it the way you speak. So it's not going to be a long conversation, but it is necessary. Um, but today is understanding finance. So the first thing that we want to look at and understand is what kind of finances are coming into your life. What's coming in? So most of you, excluding maybe a couple, I'm not sure. We'll find out today if any of you are either in summer school to further your education on purpose, not because you have to, or you decided to take a summer job, and that's what we're going to call it, job. It's not work. It's not um, unless you are Jaden or Keith Ann and you take a job in the field that you're studying, then that's furthered education while you're off. Just saying, it's possible. That's not just a job, that is education for your completion of school. So if you're doing that, then that's not a job. That's education. The rest of you, if you're just cutting grass or raking leaves or whatever is needed in the community, that's a job. Okay. Either way, whichever direction you are going or whichever level you are at, out of the two that I just spoke on, those are finances. And those are early finances to show you the worth of it. And a lot of people get this part wrong, that you're supposed to work hard for 30 years and then retire, or 40 years. I don't know what it is now. It's crazy. Retire at 67 or something like that, 70. They don't even want you to retire what they want. So to alleviate that whole scenario, you guys are not going to go through that. I'm telling you now. And there's a couple people, family members on this call right now that are retired and will tell you that after all the years that they put into that job or employment or whatever it is, and this is why I don't want you to do that, that employer is only going to give a certain amount of money. Again, this is where they decide how you live. So if you work 70 years, 60 years, it's a lot when you think about it. 65 years, let's just say 65. I think it's 67, some stupid number. Whatever, it's too long. You work all those years, and I think going off of a couple of people that I know, their retirement check is $1,400. $1,400 a month. Now, you have put up and put into a company that created millions of dollars, whatever it is, whatever it was, millions. They have received millions. They went on vacations. They bought new cars, new houses, sent their children to college off of your labor. That's why they call it labor. And then at the end of all that process and work and, hurting yourself at that employment, because most people, when they go to a job, they're doing something, they're going to get hurt there. So if you get hurt, you're spending money to get better, to go back to help them make more money. At the end of this process, 67, they say, okay, Mr. Lewis, you can enjoy your days now. We've used you up. We are no longer in need of your services. So you can go sit down somewhere and we'll make sure that you have $1,000 a month. And I want you to think about this for a second. If you go down that road, would you be repeating the process that your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, uncles, aunts have already done before you? I'm sure you've gone to family reunions or weddings like I got today. You go to places where the family gathers up and they have conversation, Christmas parties or Christmas time, everybody gets together. And the conversation around that dinner table or after dinner is about lack. Man, I tell you that COVID messed me up. My house note's bad, a car note's bad. Or conversations like, I had to get hip surgery, and it was $70,000. The insurance didn't cover but a third of it. Now I have a bill. For, I don't know, let's just say $600 a month. Now you only get $1,400 a month. Is it sinking in yet? So you had to have hip surgery because you were standing up doing that job for 60 years, messed your hip up. And all they say is, well, you have your Social Security insurance, senior citizen, AARP or whatever it is, but it doesn't cover anything. These politicians have messed over benefits for the people who have worked their entire life, and everything is totally expensive. Understanding finances early at your age, hearing what I'm saying to you. Think about this. You have a medical bill of $600. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have other health issues because of poor diet, people that work long jobs, eat junk, and most of the employers have the vending machines in there. They want more of your money. You don't realize it, but it's all a circle to keep you as broke as possible and sick. Most of the vending machines are what? Candy, sugar. What does that create when you eat it all the time? Sugar diabetes. At least that's what they're saying. Makes sense. If you're continually eating sugar, 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 you're going to have sugar. So we look at that, and then let's say that you have a health issue, not the hip, but something else that requires you to get a prescription and requires you to take this on a regular basis. Now, most, if not all, prescriptions have a price. So you're paying to try to stay healthy after doing that job for 60 years. Okay? 9 times out of 10, you have a home, a car. Hopefully it was paid for in that time, but some people, it's not. They're still making the house note. So when you go to Walmart, if you shop there, there's usually someone at the front door checking receipts, or so they used to greet you. Now they just want to see if you actually bought the stuff, which I don't play that game with them anymore. They know not to ask me. But anyway, they were called greeters. Someone to say, welcome to Kmart, welcome to Walmart, welcome to this, welcome to that. And that was for senior citizens that had to go back to work, but not do something strenuous, but still get a paycheck. Pause for a minute. If you've already worked 67 years for a company, you have done all your dues, you have put your life, body into someone else's dream, and find out that once you retire, you can't afford to live. So you have to go back to work as a senior citizen, earning a little bit of money to add to the little bit of money they give you a month. And then there's rules and laws that say a certain thing, that you can't make this amount of money because you are receiving this or that. Rules, rules, rules. But all those rules keep you broke. Can't make so much money. If you do go back to work, let's say that you're computer tech for 67 years, and you say, okay, well, I got to go back to work because I can't pay the light bill. And you go back to a tech job that was in your field, so you're not doing anything strenuous, you're doing what you used to do. But let's just say that job pays $20, now $30 an hour. A senior citizen can't make $30 an hour and keep their benefits. See that game? You have to make less than that so that they can still give you that $1,400. You go over that, then they take out of the 14. Completely backward. So the whole idea and the whole reason that I need you to understand finances is so that you do not have to go through what I just explained. You shouldn't have to. the best way to do that is to understand finances. So write this down. You got a couple things. I'm going to write it down with you. Budget. Dedication to the budget. Dedication to budget. Consistency. Those three things. Budget, dedication, and commitment. Should have been commitment in there. Excuse me. Commitment in there too. So dedication and commitment to the budget. Dedication and commitment. All right, so budget, commitment and dedication to the budget, and consistency, which means it has to happen every day. It has to happen every day. So, budget. A budget basically dictates to you how much money you need to do two things: take care of obligations and put something away. So we've been doing, should have been doing $3.50 a week for now 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, because this is June, 3 months. I would ask, have you all been keeping up with the $3.50 a week, putting it away? So that's an open question to the 6 of you. I just need a yes or no.
I have not been as consistent.
I'll follow Jaden. I haven't been consistent either.
I have about
I haven't
42.
been consistent.
Okay, ladies first.
I said I have about 42.
You have?
Yes.
Awesome.
Mr. Lewis, I have not been consistent in putting away the $3.50.
Mr. Lewis, I have not been consistent.
Okay.
It's been difficult to actually get cash, like to have cash on hand.
Okay. It's okay. You don't have to, there's no, I just need to know if you have or not. That's it. I'm gonna go over the answers. So no embarrassment here. This is how you understand. You see what I'm saying? When you see a system and it's not followed or consistent with, then you see the outcome. So I need to hear from 2 more people. Jeremiah, Jalen. Have you been putting the $3.50 away a week?
No, I haven't.
To be honest, no, sir.
Yes or no? I didn't quite catch that. Jeremiah?
No, sir.
No? Okay. All right. So here we go. And I want to commend Kayla for putting it away. So before we even go into budgets and all that, let's stop right here and get a hold of the no's. The whole reason that we're on this class is to get you to create new habits. If you create the new habits now, you'll have them when you get my age and older. You putting away $3.50 is a process that you put together up here. Right now, we're just in the class. This is the lower end of where this is going. And if you want to have a foundation, you have to start small. Okay. If you've ever seen a house built, and I'll explain it to you real quick. The first part of building a house is finding land. Okay. The dedication of driving around, looking for a place or a certain city, and you want to live in a place that's comfortable. So it's work involved. You have to go do something in order to have a place where you want it. So that's the first part of building a house. It has nothing to do with hammers, nails, and all that other stuff. It's going to find it. So this, putting away the $3.50, is going to find it. Okay, you're on a path to build a house. And your house is your financial kingdom. But you have to start at the very bottom. You can't go right to the kingdom unless you go out and pick 6 numbers and it hits. Then that's not even real. And that's why most people that hit that, the lotto and stuff, lose it, because there's no building to understand that kind of money. Does that make sense? If you don't build up to large amounts of money putting away, then you won't understand it. So if we start here at $3.50, it's doing the journey of the start. You have to start here. Friday, the first thought on your mind is thanking God that you woke up. The second thought is, I need to put $3.50 in the jar, in the piggy, or wherever you're putting it. How do I do that? Now, of course, if you're in school, if it's during school time, it's go to get to school and get your stuff. But in the back end, somewhere, somehow, you have 4 days to wake up and do something. Journey, drive. Remember, you got to go drive around and find a place to build a house. So every day you have to go get in the car and drive somewhere to look. You know, if it's you're going to move to another country, you have to go online and look at what's the crime rate, what's the what does it cost to live there, what is it, how much is it to turn on utilities. That's the journey to building that house or buying one. Same thing. You have to start somewhere. So when you wake up, first thought, thanking the Creator that you are able to wake up. Second thought, $3.50 by Friday. Even if it's 25 cents a day, doing something, whatever it is, do it. If you don't make the full $3.50, whatever you were able to accumulate in 4 days, in a span of 4 days, put it in there. But next week, figure out a way to make up that difference. If you got $4.10, then you need 90 cents more from something in the course of 4 days. What this is doing is creating consistency. And with consistency, you have a journey, you have a foundation. The foundation is the act of saving. Okay, understanding that you need to have a certain amount in order to satisfy a request. That's a budget. See how this works into each other? I love teaching. So basically, if you said no to the question of today, then I would ask, do you plan to say no when you're 67? Do you plan to say no when you're 21?
No, sir.
Okay. So the foundation that creates the mindset of someone who understands their finances is one that's consistent to a process. Now, in the coming weeks, you won't have much problem saving. That much I can say for a fact. But it's the act of doing it that sets you apart. One moment. Okay. My apologies. It's the act of doing it that sets you apart from everybody else. And saving or using a budget requires consistency. So your requirement now is $3.50, and you need to know how to get it every week. Okay, not doing silly things, of course, but do something that is going to generate it. Cutting grass if you're not working, raking someone's lawn, you might get the whole $5, $10, whatever, and you just take $3.50, not the whole $10. The request or the required budget is $3.50. Why am I going over this so hard? You would ask. Simple. Because the $3.50 is just the beginning of your journey. That number is going to change as you change. Some of you are in college. That should be $350, but that's somebody working. Just leave it at the $3.50. I want you to go on the journey with us, even though you're already in college, starting your life. Like I said, things are going to change in a couple of weeks for that anyway, so no worries. The rest of you, Kayla just graduated. Again, congratulations. She's now going to go into school of some sort. So her finances are not the same as MJ. Okay? But if we all pick a specific foundation or a starting point and stay consistent with it, it creates a habit of making that happen every Friday, no matter where you are. Okay, it's not going to stay $3.50. It will for MJ and Kristen for a while. But the rest of you, that number is going to change. And the reason why I pick on those two, because they're not out there where they can go to work. I don't think. Let me not speak too much. But again, I don't want you to work at this age or that age because of the simple fact you miss out on things that you need to grow. And a lot of us and a lot of people I see making their kids go to work early. And the thing is, oh, it keeps them out of trouble. It keeps them out of this and keeps them out of that. Why? If you're a child, you should be able to live and play and experience childhood, not child worker. That's that stuff overseas. Makes sense. if you start working at a very, very young age, then you miss out on things that you should be doing or need to have the opportunity to do to further your bodies. You know, being able to go outside and run. If you're at the job, you can't go run. You can't go play. You can't build friendships. That's having the ability to speak to people. You can't build relationships with other things that you can learn how to do. If you're at a job, if you go to McDonald's, all you're learning is what McDonald's says. Cook the fries, salt on the fries, put the fries in the box. Cook the fries, put salt on the fries, put the fries in the box. That's all you're learning. Now, if you're not at McDonald's, and let's say you're at the house and you woke up today and mom and dad are there might be going to, I don't know, something, some kind of event where there's other people and there's other conversation, experiences. And you say, well, mom and dad, can I go? And you say, well, we're going to be there for this many hours doing this or that. Are you sure you want to go? You're going to get bored. Boredom is lazy. I'm going to tell you the flat out truth. Boredom, being bored, is a lazy person. So if you ever say, I'm bored, you're calling yourself lazy. The second you say, I'm bored, is because you gave up on looking around you. Think about it for a second. There's experiences everywhere. The second you wake up in the morning, you're experiencing life. Somebody needs thanks for that. Once you get up and get the day going, you're experiencing things, conversation, situation. Learn from that. Learn how to deduct certain conversations and use the material or information to your benefit. Just like this class, you come here every Saturday, thank you, and you get a little bit of information to put in your backpack. Now you have a life backpack, by the way, that you never take off. You're always putting information in it, not up here. A lot of people say, oh, you're putting it in your brain. No, you're actually putting it in your backpack. Because when you have good information, what is it doing? Backing you. It's got your back. When you understand your finances, it has your back. Not your head, not your brain, not your mind. No, nobody says that. My mind got my, it's got my back. So consistency at the $3.50 is the requirement for right now. I understand certain things are in play at this very moment because of our country and the people running it. They're making it very, very difficult for us to get money, to keep money, to put money away because of the price of everything, because of the people's greed that, remember when I point to the right, I'm talking about DC. Because those people over there have a different mindset for you that doesn't allow you to do your budget, your foundation. But I beg to differ. Your foundation, your budget, your journey is totally up to you. It could be an easy one. It could be a hard one. It could be one that you allow other people to pick for you. Now, I don't bash anyone for doing whatever it is that they choose to do. That's the freedom of it. I didn't say freedom of the United States because don't think for a second that you're free in this country. That's a facade. It's a lie. You are not free. Semi-free. But at the very second that you break the law, you are no longer free. So is it a free country? No. For some. So the budget or the understanding of the finance of $3.50 is just a process to help you form a consistent foundation. Second part of building a house, once you location and you figure out, you go through all the blueprints and draw it up, you know what you want, how you want. When you're looking at that land, you see trees, you see grass, bushes, nothing. It's a wooded area. The next step is to cut down the trees and clear the brush. Now I'm using metaphors here. Metaphor is an idea that attaches to a process. Clearing the trees or bringing down the trees is bringing down blocks on your mindset, keeping you blocked. Because you can't build a house on a property that has trees on it. You have to get rid of some of them trees. The trees are the reasons why you don't have the $3.50 in there. Okay? The trees are either reasons or issues as to why the $3.50 is not there. So to build that house, that foundation, or get the house, you have to knock down some trees. So whatever your tree is that kept you from getting $3.50, cut it down, clear it away. Okay? When you come on the call, please mute. This is being recorded. So as you move into the understanding of clearing the trees, that is whatever's stopping you from moving forward or whatever's stopping you from being consistent. Recognize what that tree is, because it's stopping you. Can't build a house on a property with trees on it. All right? Now, before you cut the trees down, you have to clear the brush. Also, another hindrance or something stopping you from completing the foundation. Whatever's stopping you needs to be cleared. So first you have to get the brush. The small bushes, the stickers, all that, dead wood stuff that's in the way. You can't walk through a wooded area with a chainsaw running and stepping over trees. You're going to wind up either falling and cutting yourself or injuring yourself or someone else. So you have to clear the way. You have to clear the brush. The brush is you. You see how I brought this back on you? The brush that's in front of the trees, that brush is you. You have to clear you out and say to self, okay, it's up to me to make this happen. It's up to me to pick something that's going to generate at least $3.50 by the end of the week, even if it's just washing windows. Whatever it is, find something, clear the brush. You have to clear you to be consistent. You have to be unclogged in order to do a process that has an ending of your desire, $3.50. Yeah, I'm harping on it, but I need you to understand the process. Once you clear the brush, which is you, there's no more restriction other than the trees. Now the trees are finding what it is that you can do in the neighborhood if you're not at the working age yet. If you are working age, if you choose to work this summer, find something that's not going to hinder your growth. But anytime you pick a job, you have to go to that location for 8 hours. Just know that 8 hours is blocked out. Of course, once you get off, you have some more hours to experience life and, do what you need to do. But anytime you take a job, it's 8 hours of cook the fries, salt the fries, put the fries in a box. Cook the fries, salt the fries, put the fries in a box. You see what I'm doing here? That's all you're doing for 8 hours. You might have to sweep the floor, cook the fries, salt the fries. That's all you're doing. That's all you're learning. So that's brush. That's all you're doing. The tree is the job itself. So how do you cut down the trees? How do you get rid of the jobs and still have an income? That's where understanding finances comes into play. Now, fortunately for you, all of you, and everyone else on the call, you are connected to someone who has a huge, when I tell you huge, commitment to everybody that I come in contact with to see that the trees never exist. Now, does that mean that you'll never have to go work? No. Does that mean that you won't further your abilities and desires because you're going into certain fields and understanding them? No. I want you to do that. But I want you to do it at a understanding that you can choose to do that if you so see fit. There's a difference between going to get a job to pay the light bill than having the finances to pay the light bill, but I want to learn how to run wires to turn on a light. Electrician. Let's say whatever you gravitate towards. I want to learn how to paint. I want to learn how to do glass work. I want to, there's so many things that you can do as a hobby or an experience. But the finances are understood. They are not to the point where you have to go do something to get it. I'm trying to say something and not put on your mind that you don't have to do anything, but tell you that in the same breath, which is a little bit of contradictory. But I have to be honest, like I've told you before, and I've also told the family, I'm brutally honest. I get that from my sister that passed away. If you were doing something stupid, she would tell you in a loving way, but being honest with people helps me be who I am. People will want to be around you if they know they can trust your word. People will want to do business with you if they know they can trust your word and your character. If you're one of those, oh, I'll say this and do that, that's called shifting. You're shifting from one to the other. When you're doing a budget, when you're doing that $3.50, when you're chopping those trees or clearing that brush, which is you, to get to the foundation, you're doing all this to get to build a house. But there's steps. And that's what I'm explaining to you. You're understanding finances. So the next step, we cleared the brush, we chopped down the trees. Now we have to do the foundation. You heard me talking about it. Now I'm at it. You've gone through all the labor of understanding the finances. You've gone through the labor of using different articles to understand where new money is coming from. You have understood the mechanics, wallet, crypto debit card, wallet and crypto debit card, your own bank. Those are the mechanics to help you get to that foundation. As you come up as young people, I need that foundation and that process like clockwork. Just like you breathe every day, every minute. I need you to understand, not be, you don't have to be a robot trying to figure this stuff out. but I want it to be second nature to you that I'm putting something away every week. You get to the foundation. That foundation is the number that you choose it to be, whatever it is. Right now it's $3.50. Jaden, Keith Ann, Kayla coming soon, and I'm not mistaken, Jeremiah are all at the age where they're getting ready to go to college. That number's going to change once APD's launched. That number's going to change. It's going to go from $3.50 to $350 a week into that saving. Once they graduate school, that number is going to change again. It's going to go to $3,000 a week into that saving. You see how your foundation that we're starting now at $3.50 is going to grow with you? As it grows, the number grows. So by the time you get to 55, and I would imagine sooner than that, really, if you follow these steps, if you follow this process and understand your finances and do what you need to do every Friday, do the numbers. I love numbers. They don't lie. If you 1 and 1 is 2 all day. As you grow, that number grows. And as that number grows, you become more and more financially free. So that when you get, and I'm going to say 55 or less, you're already retired. You have a savings in your bank of $6-7 million, maybe more. So every month, if you decide to stop working, and you have $6 or $7 million here, you have in your savings account another 3 to 4 million. Because see, your bank holds on to the big money for a later date. This is your retirement. That's why you need to know how to use it. You own that retirement, not a bank, not some investment group that can mess around and lose it like they did my sister. And we can thank Obama for that. They literally went into everyone's savings accounts and called themselves going to trade it and make money for the country and lost it, along with her finances. So when you depend on those trees for you to have a life and a retirement, this is how they treat you. If you rely on self, on your understanding of finances, have your foundation, have your own savings, understand the process, the tools, create your own retirement, then you set how much you are worth to yourself. So how much do you want over here? 5, 10, $20 million? Absolutely. If you got $20 million and you say, okay, I'm done working, now I'm going to do what I want to do. You don't have to labor all your life. That's the lie. You do not have to labor all your life for a couple dollars at the end of it and go into the ground broke, devastated, and owing. Yes, when you leave here, you're going to have bills, even when you leave. The funeral, the hospital where you died at, if that happens. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully we understand or figure out how to maintain life. But all in all, that foundation, the journey started 3 months ago. So now we have to clear the brush, and that's you. We have to get it in your mindset that at the end of the week, I need to be putting $3.50 somewhere. What do I need to do to generate $3.50? That's the brush. You have to clear that. I can't clear it for you. Once you have it cleared, then you're at the trees. The trees are either you're going to work for someone or you're going to work for yourself. It's still a tree, even though it's you. Pick one. Once you got the trees down, then you can dig the ground and lay that foundation. $3.50 every week. That's one brick. Over the course of time, that brick and that foundation will build a house. Okay? Did everybody understand what I just said today?
Yes, sir.
I understand.
I understand as well.
I
Okay,
understand.
awesome.
Mr. Lewis, I have a question for you really quickly.
Yes, ma'am. It's question time.
What do you think about me and Kayla starting a self IRA? I'm sorry. My apologies. Excuse
Mhm.
me. And do you trust that particular thing for a retirement savings?
Okay, so the IRA is where? Who holds it?
My apologies. Can you repeat the question? You're going in and out.
Okay, who's holding the IRA?
The bank.
Does that answer your question?
So no, don't trust it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. This awesome question, and I commend both of you for looking into it. But here's the thing, and this is just my opinion, as all of my information. I'm not licensed to give financial advice. But what I would say to you and Kayla is this. We are in a evolution. And that evolution is the banks changing position. The banks no longer having the ability to handle finances properly. They've already shown you what they will do to you if you don't play by their rules. The banks are going to change positions, and that position is from a fractional debt servicing company to a wealth management. So they're going to manage your money again when you give it to them. Remember me talking about signing the back of a check, and you take that check to the bank and you hand it to them. You have signed over your finances to them to manage. Now, please catch the words here. An IRA is managed by the bank. The bank does not work for you. They work for themselves. When you have a bank account, checking, savings, whatever, at the end of every month, they take a portion of what you have on deposit. So they're charging you to put your money there. They are charging you finance fees. So they're charging you, let's say you put 20,000, 10,000 each, you and Kayla. So the 10,000 is over the threshold of fees, yes. But you have signed it over to that bank. And the bank now says, okay, Kayla, Jaden, we're going to take this 20,000 and we're going to go buy some mop heads. Everybody does their dusting. You see how close mine is. Yes, we do. And we're seeing an increase in people purchasing these brushes. So we're going to buy a little stock in those brushes for 6 months. Now, in a 6 month period, I'm showing you how these things work. In a 6 month period, the company that sells these things, let's say, drops. No one's cleaning up because everybody's at a tree. They went and got a job. So there's no more dusting going on. The pandemic's over. People are back out in the workforce. So they're no longer at the house dusting like that. So now the price drops on the brushes, which means the stock that the bank bought that they seen rising now starts to drop or dwindle. Now the 20,000 that you have there, and let's say they put 5,000 over there. That 5,000 is not theirs. They don't really care. But they put it there because they saw an increase. Then when it starts losing, the 5,000 turns into 4,200. Oh, it's just a bump. Leave it there. You don't know this because you're at your tree or you're at school or wherever you are. You don't see this happening. They do. The trading happens and continues. It goes up $100. See, told you it was just a bump. The next day it drops $500. Now you're in the 33,000 range. Now, instead of them taking the loss and say, you know what, this is not working, let's pull their funds out and chalk it up as a loss. Try to go buy something else that's moving up. That's how stocks work. That's how IRAs work. They're built off of money sitting and someone else trading it and bringing funds back to it to make it go up. It's trading. It's stocks, basically. Instead of them taking the loss and pulling the 3,000, they leave it there. Oh, it'll rebound. 2 weeks later, you're at $400. So 5,000 is gone. You're at $400. They take the 400, put it back to your account. They don't tell you that happened. Oh no, because that's a loss on them. And they're not gonna, oh, guess what, Kayla? Guess what, Jaden? We lost $3,500. No, they're not gonna run to tell you that. They're gonna be quiet. Hopefully you don't ask any questions. And they take another piece of that. Now, less than 20 by 5,000. And they grab 3,000 again and put it over here. And let's say they make a good win. And you're back at the 10,000 or 20,000. So it's a game that they play with the funds that you put there. I don't care what they say or how they try to play it off. They're trading the monies. And if they make a huge win, you only see a percentage of it because it's in their control. You're not going to see the final trades because they take your 5,000 or 3,000 and mix it with 30 other people, 300 other people, however many people are using that IRA. And they trade the big lump, but they know how much they took out of your account to add to that lump. Let's say that lump does extremely well and they make 3 times it. They're only going to report on the one that they took out. So if they used 100, but won 300, they're only going to put the 100 back. The 200 above that goes to them. You're helping them. That's how
So-
it works. Go ahead.
So with that being said, what do you think is the best instrument for me to use? My personal cold storage bank?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Why would I
Thank
say
you.
that? And I'm only saying it because of what? You own it. You have access to it whenever you feel like it. At the end of the month, and you feel, okay, well, I put over here 10,000. At the end of the month, and you say, well, I'm just going to leave it for another month. It's still 10,000. Over there, it could be up or down, depending on what they did. Sometimes it's up. For the most part, they're going to show a positive so that you stay in there, but they're not showing you the full positive. Like I said, they'll put 100 up out of all of you guys' money. They might win 300. 100 comes back plus maybe 50. So everybody sees a profit for that month, but 100 and something odd went to them. That's how they've been doing it for years. Now, for you and Kayla to get in something that is going to generate like what you're talking about, that's Team Royal. Team Royal has basically products that do what you guys are looking to do. And I'll explain that once you join.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
Mr. Lewis, I don't really have a question, but I do have something that I just want to tell you. I calculated that saving $3.50 each week for a um for 52 weeks of a year totals to $182. If I continue this for 5 years, I'll have saved $910 by the time I'm 18. And so to keep track of me saving my $3.50, I've set a reminder on my calendar to deposit $3.50 into my savings every Friday. And in saying that, at first I was dismissing saving the $3.50, but now after this call, I understand why I need to be consistent and why I am consistent. And also, I have another question. This is a real question. The budget and the dedication to the commitment to the budget. And do you want the definition of budget?
Yes, those three things are the homework assignment. And then basically that budget is going to be your budget. Okay, so what's your budget? And then how you're going to be committed to it and dedicated to it. And then you've already stated how you're going to create the consistency by setting alarms or setting mindsets or putting it on a people call them wish boards. But if you put something in front of you where you see it on a regular basis, it becomes in the psyche. It's not a wish board, it is repetition. If you, like I said, if cook the fries, salt the fries, box, put the fries in a box. If you do that every day for 8 hours, next week, when you come punch in, put on your apron, you already know what you got to do. Cook the fries, salt the fries, put the fries in a box. It's a process. But awesome, and thank you. And yes, that would be one way. The second way is to put it in your psyche. Put it in here. You need to use this piece of meat between your ears. It is a full onboard computer. You have to practice using it. Inputting information, retaining information, put in your backpack, and using information. Any other questions?
Mr. Lewis, I have a question, comment as well.
Mhm.
Just to follow up, push further what Kristen just mentioned. I like this call today. Because it kind of highlight that it's not about the amount, right? The amount is not
Correct.
important. It's the habit that they're creating. Because a lot of times people create habit, whether it's a bad one, and it's human nature to create bad habits quicker than anything else. So I
Mhm.
like the habit, because if you're saving $3.50 intentionally every Friday, it will be easy to save $3.50. It'll be easy to save $3,500. It'll be
Right.
easy to save $35,000. It's just a habit. It's just something that you always do. Okay, so that was my little 2 cents. But my question is, for the cold storage, I know I asked you this question before, but something just jumped in my head again. Does it dance over in the cold storage? Does it go up and down? Does it move or it stays? Because I heard you just told Jaden that you put 10,000 there, it stays at 10,000 when you go back the next week. But doesn't it fluctuate as well?
No.
It
Depending.
does not.
Wait, depending on what you put in there. Now, if you put into your cold storage Bitcoin, we already know Bitcoin does this.
Yeah.
If you put USDT in there, which is kind of the stable coin that we have that doesn't move like this, it still moves, but the movement is like that. Just a little.
I see. I see.
So if you put
I see.
Bitcoin in here, oh yeah. And whatever it's doing out here, whatever it's doing on there.
Okay, so that triggered another question.
Mhm.
So if the dollar is going away, isn't USDT the dollar?
Yeah. The current one, yes. Remember me saying on the last adult call that they're going to come out with a digital representation of the Q.
You did say that.
Coin. Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, to further on that, and I got to jump off here. To further on that, when the Q coin comes out or whatever they call it, that will be the USDT. And instead of it doing that up and down, it'll lock. It'll lock on the assets that we put behind it. So if we we have more oil than Saudi Arabia almost, if you really look at it. But anyway, if we lock oil on it, and oil is at this, or whatever it is, AI, you can lock anything on it, an asset of the country. Can't be AI, but it has to be stuff that we can sell to back it. Gold price, let's say that we're gold backed and the price of gold goes to, which I'm pretty sure it's going to do, probably going to go around 25 to maybe 30,000 an ounce. And you're backed by gold like other countries are already doing. Russia's doing it. Zimbabwe has already done it. And a lot of other countries are doing it. Then your price of your money doesn't do that little fluctuate. It just stays green, pointing up. Okay, if you ever looked at stocks, there's either a green arrow pointing up or a red one pointing down. That means it's losing money or gaining value. Once they pin a coin, whatever they're going to call it, then that's what you'll put over here. They even may have a digital currency, which I already know they're going to. So you put that over here, not a coin, digital currency that's backed by gold. That's what you put here. Any other questions?
Got it. Mr. Lewis, before you go, I want to say one last thing. You're listening? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm in my car. I purposely ran outside and got stared at. So 18 years ago, God gave me what I call the gift, right? My daughter. So I want you to help me celebrate her today. I know she's like, Mom. So today is Kayla's birthday. So let's give her well wishes.
Oh, absolutely.
All of
Well, I got one better. Everybody unmute. We're going to sing happy birthday. Everybody unmute.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to get you, Kayla. Here it comes. You're unmuting. Let me know when you guys are ready.
We're ready.
All right. Here we go. Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy birthday, dear Kayla. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
Kayla. I'm the worst
Thank
singer, but
you.
I think I can sing. Happy birthday to you.
Now you can run off in the corner and cry. All right, I'm gonna jump off here. Thank you so much, and happy birthday, Kayla. Awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Have a good day.
Absolutely.
Happy
Absolutely.
birthday, Kale.
Thank you, Montavo.
Absolutely. You guys take
Have a
care.
good day.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Happy
Lewis, have a
birthday,
blessed
Kayla.
day.
Thank you,
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, Kayla.
Have a good
Everybody
day.
have a
Happy
good day.
birthday, Kayla.
Bye.
See ya.
Okay, Kayla and Jay, please save my cake in the freezer. That's from Selma.
Yeah, I need an address so I can send you some cookies.